video of the year. Firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's followed me the past year, who's subscribed, who's liked, who's commented, anything you've done to support me and my channel. It truly means so much. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed all the shenanigans of last year, and I can't believe we're entering 2023. Any of you millennials, or I think I'm actually classed as the Generation Y child, will remember 2000 like it was literally yesterday, the millennium. I feel like I can remember that New Year so well, and no other New Year has compared, and I was only like 11 or something. But if someone had asked me then what 2023 would look like, I would have had no idea. And also if someone had asked me 10 years ago what today would look like, I would never have expected this. So very grateful, feeling very happy to start off the new year. It's actually the first today, so a very happy new year to all of you. Yeah, and I'm excited for today's video. We are going to do just a little sit down chat. I haven't done one for so long, and we're just going to set some goals together, resolutions, just reset for 2023 basically. But before I go any further, can we just take a moment to look at these guys? This is a home manicure, my very first time ever doing gel nails on my own. It was actually one of the goals I wanted to set for myself this year. I wanted to be more mindful of what I'm spending money on, firstly, and one of the things that I love to do is get a manicure, but I honestly don't enjoy just sitting there having them done. And I bite my nails when I'm nervous or anxious unless I have gel nails. So all the times that I don't manage to get to the salon to get them done, I'll end up like biting the gel off and then biting my nails down, and that is why they're so short. But don't they look pretty? Don't they look pretty for a first time gel painter? And I'm very excited because I get to tell you that I am collaborating with Nail Reserve. Nail Reserve LA manufacture and sell high quality, vegan, 9-free, cruelty-free nail polish and nail accessories, and they have over 100 gel colours, and I think they even introduce new ones every month. So guys, if you're interested, this is so simple and easy to do. I thought it was going to be so much more challenging, but they provide all the gels and the polishes that you need to do them. All you need to do is head over to Amazon or wherever and grab a UV LED light like this. Super simple. It's about $20 from Amazon, and then you have everything you need. So go over and check out Nail Reserve. I'm going to leave the website below in the description box, and they've actually very kindly given you viewers 45% off today if you want to purchase anything. The only thing it excludes is bundles, but everything else you can pick and choose. The colours that I went for were Marry Me, Ice Skating and Cashmere, and I believe this one is Ice Skating. But yeah, the gel polish is absolutely such good quality. I've had this on now for 3 or 4 days, no chips, nothing. It feels absolutely great, and it took me a total of about 5 minutes to actually do my nails. So yeah, please, if you're somebody that loves to do your nails and wants to try something new with home manicures, go and check out Nail Reserve. Okay, so getting back to the video today. This year I specifically wanted to set myself some smaller goals, more achievable resolutions, let's say. I think in the years before I've always set myself very big resolutions, maybe just like 5 or 6 huge things that sometimes were pretty unachievable or took so much effort to even get to the point of achieving it. So this year I wanted to work on setting myself some more achievable goals, maybe more scope of things to achieve, and also just to try and maintain or create new habits within my routine and my day-to-day life. So that's what I've done. I've actually got 23 goals to set for 2023, and the way that I got there was first by reflecting on last year. So if you're struggling to set yourself some goals, you don't even know where to begin, I really urge you to sit and reflect on your previous year. I actually love the thought of sitting here and thinking about doing this next year, not having a clue what this year is going to bring, and just compare it to this video now. I think that's such a fun idea, so we're going to try and do that. But just reflecting on last year, I can't believe everything that we as a family went through. There were so many highs and lows. We've all grown so much and changed a lot, especially the boys. Like last year they were bald and only just basically walking, and now they're running around full on chattering with a full head of hair. So just amazing what 1 year can do. Anyway, it's very easy to sit and compare yourself to other people, or even watch videos like this and think, I want to set that goal for myself, or I want to set that resolution, but if it doesn't align with the way that your life is, it's very hard to set those goals. So what I'm actually going to do is share with you the questions I asked myself to sort of set these goals in the first place, and maybe if you're struggling, that's where you can start. So to begin with, I reflected on 2022, and the questions that I asked myself were: what were your biggest wins and your biggest challenges of the year? What are your highlights from every month? What did you start doing and stop doing this year? How did you take care of yourself this year? What boundaries did you set for yourself? And what was your mindset like this year? I think the biggest one that hit me was actually doing the highlights of the month each year. That really broke down my year, and I could see where I had good months and bad months, and maybe why things happened the way that they did. As you all know, my parents came out last Christmas, so they actually left in January. That was a really hard time for me. Things got a bit easier at the end of the month, and then my dad actually visited in February, and then he left again, which was really hard. So the beginning of the year I tackled missing family a lot, and then we had at the beginning of the summer where not a lot happened. I think I was just struggling through motherhood and looking after the boys. May, I actually went away for the very first time for a weekend for that wedding. Had an absolutely lovely time, but also struggled thinking about my past life, what it was like pre having the boys. And then I got COVID, and then summer came and we had a really nice family holiday. That was definitely a highlight. Then August came, and I remember at the very beginning of that month I was feeling very motivated to tackle a load of things. Started out the month very hopeful, and then we had that car accident, and a few things with friends and family happened back home that hit really hard. And August was a tough month actually, and then we hit September and the boy's birthday happened, and then October my mum came out and visited again and we went away, and then it all kind of revolved around Christmas again. So the year goes in a flash, it really does, but I could see where there was so many highs and lows and how my mindset sort of changed with that. So that's how I've been able to look back and see what I would like to change and how I'm going to use that heading into 2023. So some of the prompts I asked myself to set the new goals were: what will my daily routine look like this year? What do I want to do to feel fulfilled? What do I want to explore more of? How can I improve my mindset? What new things do I want to try? And who do I want to spend more time with? So I urge you to go and answer all those questions yourself, and then hopefully you can set some goals for the new year. In doing that, I kind of rambled it down to about 6 categories. So the first was health and wellness. The second was like personal and self-care. Third was financial. Fourth was social life. Fifth, motherhood. And 6, work life. With that, I don't work. Obviously, I'm a stay-at-home mum, but I'm just going to say YouTube for that because that is my only side hustle other than looking after the boys right now. So they're my 6 categories, and then I've just tried to make all my goals fit into those categories, and I made 23 of them. So I'm going to share with you on the screen my goals, and we'll just run through them quickly. First up in the health and wellness category is try out a new form of exercise. I've actually already started this. I was so keen and eager to start. I've actually started doing yoga. Some of you know we have the Peloton, and all I've been doing is the spin classes, but I really wanted to try something new, and the yoga had this beginners program and it just kept catching my eye, and I've got friends here that swear by yoga, and I know it's supposed to be really good as you age, keeping your flexibility and everything like that. So I've started, I'm like 5 days in, I'm actually loving it. I'm really surprised. I thought I was going to hate it, but I'm loving it, and I feel like I'm going to learn a lot from doing this year. Don't get me wrong, I'm on a very beginner program. I've got a lot to learn, but so far, very pleased. Second and third resolution revolve around food, and that is just prep more food. I used to be so good at prepping lunches, prepping dinners, tracking food. I think I mentioned this in a video within the year. I just feel like I'm just a bit here, there and everywhere at the moment. Not really forming meals properly and just not keeping an eye on what I'm consuming. So I want to get better at prepping stuff in advance so I don't do that so much. Third goal aligns with that closely, and that is stop eating leftovers. I am the worst, Alid will tell you, when it comes to throwing away food. So when I give the boys dinner every night, and it's normally dinner, not so much breakfast and lunch, but I hate throwing the leftovers away, and I'll start picking at their food. It's always around 5 o'clock as well, like at the hungriest time of my day, and I'm just eating their leftovers, and then I'm not hungry for dinner, and then I eat dinner and think, why have I eaten all this food? So I really need to stop doing that. One way I plan to tackle that is by giving them less food in the beginning, so that hopefully they don't leave as much, and that way I'm not wasting as much as well. So see how we get on with that. Fourth goal is just to work on my mindset. I actually am thinking to do a video on this because I was watching another YouTube video. I cannot remember the name of the channel, but I will find out and speak more about this. But it was a lot about being a housewife or a stay-at-home mum, and just the way that we view things. And I have been terrible this year at, if there's something that I didn't necessarily want to do one day, or feeling like I have all these things that I need to do with the boys that are mundane, just shifting your mindset to be able to view it that you're lucky to be able to get to do those things. I'm so lucky to be able to be a stay-at-home mum with the boys. I'm so lucky to get out every morning and walk the dog, even though they're the things that sometimes drag me down the most. So it's just a mindset shift that I really want to achieve this year. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on this because I have a lot to say about it, and I don't want to make this video too long. Goal number 5. This is one that I'm nervous about because I don't know where to start with it. Sorry, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm sitting cross-legged on my bed. Goal number 5 is journal. I want to start journaling. It's definitely something that's going to be new and scary for me, and I don't know where to begin. Number 6, going into personal and self-care. My skincare routine. I've been hit and miss with this. I used to always take off my makeup with wet wipes, and I know that's terrible, so we've kind of cut that out, but I just need to get better at doing the whole routine every day, cleansing, creams, you name it. I want to get a bit more knowledgeable about it and just a bit more mindful about what I'm using and be consistent with it. Next up is read 20 books. Now I've chose 20, that probably seems like nothing to some of you, but I'm not a huge reader. I always read 1 or 2 books when I go on a holiday, but not knowing if we're even going to have a holiday and whatnot, I don't want to bombard myself with too many things. So we're saying 20, I think that works out as like probably about 1 to 2 a month, depending on the month. So I need to get reading as of tonight, but I want to kind of mix those books up into like half fiction, half non-fiction. I used to love non-fiction, but I've very recently got into fiction, and I'm just kind of got this whole new lease of love for reading. So read 20 books is my goal. We'll see how I can do. I probably read about 8 this year, which is quite good going for me. Next is nail care, which we've already started. I'm so pleased about this, and again, thank you Nail Reserve. I really think this is something that I'm going to get going with and continue doing. Next up is start a new craft. I've been having this urge to start watercolouring, and I don't know why. I used to love painting and drawing and all those things, and it's something that I just left behind. Obviously, when I started working, I was in an office, and then I started travelling loads, and I ended up in the baking field. And I love baking, don't get me wrong, but it's so time consuming, and it's not something you can just jump and do when the boys are napping. You've got to do all the cleaning up, and then someone needs to eat it, so it's not always something that I can do. So I thought watercolouring would be maybe a nice way to start. Maybe, we'll see. I haven't exactly decided. The other idea would have been something like tapestry, but yeah, I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but I would like to start something new like that this year. Next, we're going into financial, and one thing that I want to do is try and implement a few no spend days a week, maybe 1 or 2. I think I already do this, but I just want to make sure that I am actually doing it. Calculate monthly spending habits. This I'm really interested in doing because I feel like I spend so much of money on food here, there and everywhere, like popping into a Starbucks or buying the boys something when I'm out that they don't necessarily need. So I just want to, like, starting with January, I'm not going to do December because I feel like Christmas and stuff, it just gets all complicated, but starting with January, I'm going to calculate on the 1st of February everything I spent in January and where my money went and how much of it went on what, and just see where I kind of create habits and what I spend my money on mostly. Next is work on impulse spending. I feel like I'm not too bad at this, but I just want to be better at, do I need to buy that drink? Do I need to buy that sweet? Do I need to buy all this food for the boys when they barely eat anything? Just work on what I buy out of quick, unthoughtful acts rather than whether I actually need it. Moving on to social life, one thing I really want to do is take more photos with loved ones. My camera is full of pictures of the boys and not much else. I even don't have any pictures of my dog anymore. I'm looking down there because he's lying there asleep. So I just want to take more photos of everybody, not just Henry and Jack. Next is do more date nights. This I am trying to get myself to do because I know Alid would really love it if we spent more time doing things together, and I just feel like I put it off because I'm so tired and don't want to go out in the evenings and things. But we have had a chat about it and we're trying to do more on the weekends. We've got a babysitter now, so we're going to try and do Sundays. But yeah, just finding time to spend together, even if it means playing a game in the evening instead of just like slouching down on the couch and ignoring each other for a couple of hours. So I'm going to be very intentional with trying to do a bit more with him. And then organise girl dates. I am so lucky to have a really nice friendship group here, but I feel like I never organise anything. It's always them, and I'm very lucky and grateful to have that, but they'd probably love it if I had some input and organised stuff. So I'm going to make sure I'm trying to do something once a month that I feel I've instigated or helped make happen. Going on to motherhood, the best one. This took me some time actually. I thought I'd have loads of goals to set myself because it's probably the biggest area of my life, but it was actually the hardest. But first up in that was be okay with more home days or just slow days. I'm so bad at just being at home. I always want to get out, get moving, do things, which is great, but sometimes I think the boys just need to be at home and not be pressured to get up and get dressed and get going and do this and do that. They're only 2 and all they want to do is play, so I need to get better at just relaxing, being at home and being okay with it, and just maybe having days where we just spend all day in our PJs. It doesn't matter. Then we're on to books again. I really do want to set myself a goal to read more books on motherhood. I feel like there's so much I could learn in this area and it's just never-ending information out there. So I'm going to set myself a goal to read 4, let's say that's 1 a quarter, 4 books on motherhood at least at the minimum this year. The next goal is for the boys, and that is just more active play. I want to make sure I'm giving them active play outside where there's no rules. They can play in the mud, they can do what they want with their cars, they just have their own imagination to run wild. Me and Alid are good at getting them out every day, but it's always to a playground or we need to walk the dog, and I just want them to be outside and be free and be young and be children and just play. Lastly, in the motherhood category is be more consistent with rules. This is a really hard one to face, but I'm finding now that I have 2 toddlers, they are so demanding, and I'm good at saying no or not allowing them to have everything they want when it comes to things like screen time. I feel like I have a hold on that, but when it comes to like food or an activity, I catch myself saying no 3 or 4 times, and then I end up just giving in and letting them do it, and I feel like I need to stop with that. There need to be some boundaries, and if I say no, I mean no. I'm not just going to give in after 3 times of them asking. So I'm really going to work on that, especially now they're becoming so strong-minded and so strong-willed. Last but not least, we move into the work life category, or YouTube for me. One thing that I want to do here is try and hit 2,500 subscribers, which I know is nothing for some people, but this channel is very slowly growing and I love it, and I love this community I have here, and it's such a nice outlet for me to do something else. So that's my little goal for this year, is to go from just under 1.5 to 2.5 this year. I want to try and upload 1 video a week. Sometimes I have months where I try and do 2, normally falls down to being 1 again, so I just want to maintain 1 upload a week at least at the minimum. I want to be better at tracking the statistics of my YouTube, see how much growth I have each month, see how much money I make each month, which is, by the way, very minimal. Anyway, it's just fun to track that stuff and see what videos do well and what videos do not so well, and hear from you guys what you like to see and all that stuff. So I'm going to be a bit more structured in monitoring that. Last but not least, I want to stop comparing. I'd say that's the biggest reason I sometimes stop uploading or have months where I'm not so present on YouTube. I do fall in a hole of comparing myself with other people, and I may even try just not watching other YouTube videos for a while because I just feel like I don't have as much to offer as those people, or I'm not as interesting and fun to watch. And I know you watching will say, don't be silly, you love watching my channel, but it's very hard when you see other people doing these amazing videos and fun stuff and you just feel like your videos don't compare. So I know it's silly, but that's one thing I want to do, is stop comparing to others. Last but not least, guys, I wrote some habits down in this little notepad, and I just wanted to read these to you because, as I said, I didn't want it all to be big goals, big resolutions. So there's some smaller things in that list and some bigger ones, and I'm gonna refer back to this video at next New Year, hopefully, and see how many of them we ticked off. But I have also written down some habits which I'll put up here as well, but I'm just gonna keep glancing down here. First is try and have less caffeine or hydrate first thing. Both of those sort of tie together. I always go for my coffee or my tea first. I need to get some water in there as well. I want to be better at step tracking or walking Hendrix at least 2 miles a day. We're normally doing like 1.5 miles a day, and I just want to up that a little bit and get more steps in. Work on my morning routine. I feel like my morning routine is huge on how my day ends up panning out. If I'm more stressed and rushing, my day is normally not so great, whereas if I am more organised and have a set routine, and the way that I get the boys up in the morning, knowing that they have a routine, I think they'd just be happier with that. So we're all going to work on a morning routine over here. I want to get better at doing a weekly house clean. I'm really not good at that. Limit screen time, that's my own screen time. I feel like I do watch quite a lot of YouTube and not so much Netflix and things, but yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I get stuck in like a rabbit hole just looking through things that's just wasting my time, to be honest. Reading, I've mentioned in my goals, I want to start reading fiction and non-fiction and mix them up and just read a little bit more and make it like something that I just do every day or every other day here and there when I have time. I want to make sure I can shift my mindset. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm just not in the best mindset. I find it hard to let that go all day. I want to get better at that because not everybody is going to have a great day every day, but there's so much to be grateful for in whatever situation you are in. So I want to try and be better at that, and I'm hoping that journaling is going to help with that. Stop hitting snooze. Guys, I didn't actually do that this morning. I didn't set an alarm, but I do 2 or 3 times a week try and get up at 6 AM to get my exercise in, and I hit snooze at least 2 of those 3 times a week. Gotta stop doing that. Close my rings on my watch, that kind of links in with my step tracking. And 1 self-care act a day. That could be just like sitting and drinking my coffee in peace. It could be anything, but one big thing that I noticed when I reflected on 2022 is I've been so bad at doing basic things for myself. Getting up and getting dressed in the morning was missed probably 2/3 of the year because I'm rushing to try and do stuff for the boys. Sitting down to eat my food rather than eating on the go, just little acts of self-care that I would skip because I was in a rush, and I want to change that. I hope you've enjoyed this little 2023 reset. I hope it's made you inspired to set yourself some goals if you haven't already, and thank you for being here to begin the year with me. I'm so excited for what this year holds. Lots of videos coming your way. As always, please let me know if there's anything you want to see from me, and if you're still watching, thank you, and please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back next week, probably with the boys. I think the boys are going to have to be in a video because they're just so funny at the moment. So me, Henry and Jack will see you